I was in the garage the other day trying to get my swole on, waiting for a good song to come on, when I heard,
"Some say Sean Price is nicest on mic devices.
Run that shit back." And then a light bulb went off and I thought, oh, I need to make a video on Ruck, aka Kimbo Price, Megatron Sean, the late and the great Mr. Sean Price.
Yo, niggas get knocked round, so when you hear a whack song, remember it's not mine. I pop nines like niggas who drop down. I was on the phone after that was my shot top. Soul Train, Caliente. After the show off, you're no longer mi gente.
Brownsville, a section of East Brooklyn, might hold one of the highest poverty and crime rates of any neighborhood in New York, but the talent that came out of those projects is insane. It's always interesting to see such notable alumni come out of rough areas. Brownsville was home to many heavy hitters such as Mike Tyson and Zab Judah, Larry King, Master Ace, Smith & Wesson, RZA, the original Gun Clappers, and none other than one of the best rap duos to ever touch the microphone, Heltah Skelter, with the Rockness Monster and, of course, Sean Price. The 1990s rap scene of New York had the heaviest roster you could imagine. Sean P was in the right place at the right time. In a 2012 interview with Vibe magazine, he stated, "I started at Manhattan's High School of Graphic Communication Arts, and then I joined the Decepticons. That was when I met Steel and Tech. We was just wildin' back then." The Decepticons was a Brooklyn street gang, active from the late 80s to the early 90s. With their presence fading in the 90s, some members went on to become established rappers, such as Sticky Fingers, Fredro Starr, and of course, Sean Price. The world would first hear Sean P's voice and lyrical ability in 1995 on Smith & Wesson's debut album, The Shinin'. Him, along with his partner in crime, the Rockness Monster, featured on the tracks One Time, Sessions at Dog Hill, and Let's Get It On. Later in 1995, Sean P, also known as Ruck and Rock, both clicked up with the original Gun Clappers to form the Fab Five. Before I make it too confusing with the different names and groups, Boot Camp Clique is like the super group of rappers, and the umbrella consists of Buckshot of Black Moon, Steel and Tech of Smith & Wesson, original Gun Clappers, Stirring Wonder, Top Dog, and Louisville Slugger, and then heltahskeltah, which is Sean Price and Rockness Monster, and I believe all of them are from Brownsville. The majority of them went to high school together, and Ruck and Rock knew each other as little kids due to their mothers being friends. After different collaborations within the supergroup, the duo of Rockness and Sean Price were getting ready to lay down their first project as heltahskeltah. In 1996, Drew Ha, founder of Duck Down Records, signed heltahskeltah to the label, and in June of that year they released their debut album, Nocturnal. This record showcased both Sean Price and Rock's lyrical ability and demonstrated the different flows and different tones of voice the pair had. First of all, if anyone ever asked me what my favorite rap album of all time is, 10 out of 10 times it's Nocturnal by heltahskeltah. I mean, dude, I gotta represent, you know what I'm saying? I got a heltahskeltah shirt. I'm a fanboy. And second of all, I know this video is for about Sean Price, but you can't make this video without mentioning Rockness Monster. Dope ass rapper. You'll hear it in the heltahskeltah album that I'm talking about, both albums, and also he's still rapping today, still doing his thing today. So I just wanted to shout him out because that dude's fucking good and underrated. From top to bottom, this record was all up in your face. Sean P's flows on multi-syllabic rhyme schemes alongside Rock's real gutter lyrics, an extremely deep and unique voice, and even just the ad-libs in the background throughout the album makes you feel like you're in the studio with them. The album reached 35 on the Billboard 200 and number 5 on the top R&B and rap albums of the year. It would garner much respect within the hip-hop community and would be the most critically acclaimed out of the Boot Camp Clique. Nocturnal is one of those albums that sort of has a cult following almost behind it. From top to bottom, the tracks mesh well together. The thing that I like about it the most is the different tones of voice both Rock and Ruck have. The way they bounce off each other reminds me of bands with two vocalists with tones juxtaposed, sounding perfect together, like Pink Floyd, Alice in Chains, and the Beatles. Yes, I did just compare heltahskeltah to the Beatles. Don't care. 2 years after the release of Nocturnal, they released their second album, Magnum Force, but it did very poorly. Duck Down Records was also dropped from their distribution deal, and Rock left Duck Down to pursue a solo career. With heltahskeltah momentarily disbanded, what was Sean P to do? The 1990s were coming to an end, and evolution was taking place rapidly in the music industry, with the classic boom-bap rapping style being replaced with a more commercialized aesthetic. Rap was now becoming the most popular genre, intertwining with pop, sounding completely different than what it sounded like in the 90s. Sean Price wasn't the type of cat to conform to what was hot or how to sell records. Drew Haw, the Duck Down founder and Price's manager and friend, stated, "If he made a great song and only 50 of his friends heard it and liked it, he was happy with that." And then he went on to the next song. Fast forward to 2005. It was a stacked year for rap, with albums like Carter 2, Late Registration, The Documentary, and The People's Champ soaring through the radio waves and CD players on Honda Civics and Volkswagen Jettas across the country. But beneath the surface, diving into the underground world, was Monkey Barz, Sean Price's debut solo album. Both Heltah albums released up until this point were obviously good pieces of music, but both Ruck and Rock weren't millionaires off these projects. And with the duo not actively working on anything and Sean Price basically being a free agent, the questions of what's next or where do I go from here probably occurred in Sean P's head. Heltah was relatively known in certain places, but who was Ruck? Well, with the release of his solo debut album Monkey Barz, he re-emerged into the scene with one of the greatest rap reinventions in rap history. Coming in blasting with lyrics spoken from the soul and the wordplay in these rhyme schemes, you already know Sean P didn't need to knock too much dust off the microphone. I mean, I'll get to it later, but I think it's cool that he was like kind of ruck and rock, and then he just comes out of nowhere, 2005, a solo album that's just like Sean Price, like remember me, what's up? That's how I look at it. Something that always stands out in his music is how transparent and real he was in his raps. As in, he wasn't some baller, but he also would talk about it, the struggles of being a rapper that wasn't some mainstream commodity racking in the dough. He has a song on the album called Brokest Rapper You Know. He says, "Rock solo, Ruck broke, here's $100, what a fucking joke, eviction notice, yo I gotta go, album been out 2 months, it ain't did a fucking show." We think of rappers as ballers, flexing cash and money in abundance, but that isn't always the case. It's refreshing to hear when a dope MC like Sean Price, as cool as he was also just a normal cat.
And I always ask this of rappers who are sort of in the, not superstar status, but just, have you always been living comfortably off of rap? Like, is this, or have you had to work in between there too?
The period between Magnum Force and the first album, Monkey Barz, I actually did have a job.
What was Sean Price's job? I want to picture that.
I worked construction.
Really?
I was in East New York. Actually, down the block from Preem, from Representatives. I was out in the street doing some kind of constructing thing, destroying some building. And the guy walked by like, "Yo, heltahskeltah, what you doing out here?" I'm like, $27.50 an hour. That's what I'm doing out here.
That's what I always thought was so cool about Sean Price is he just seemed like that cool ass uncle at the fucking family get together, you know what I'm saying? Or just like a regular down to earth cat, family man, father, husband, and just like a dope rapper, just down to earth. That's how I always viewed Sean Price. He also had a sense of humor, sometimes even self-deprecating, which is pretty refreshing in a genre filled with a bunch of cocky motherfuckers letting you know how much more money they have. And when I mean funny, like this dude pretending to be Nardwar, aka Sean War.
Is it true you adapted your name from the Egyptian Greek Lord Pharaoh Monk?
Or he would paint a picture of his neighborhood as Bob Ross, aka Sean Ross.
It's amazing what you can see out of a project window. Bird shit. Crackheads, heroin addicts, crack and heroin addicts.
And he would get on his journalism shit and went to the front lines of Hurricane Sandy.
Bars is closed. Spicer, Popeyes is closed. Dunkin' Donuts is closed. Starbucks closed. McDonald's is closed. But folks, Kennedy Fried Chicken on Saratoga and Livonia Avenue is open. I repeat.
All jokes aside, Sean Price was an actual street dude along with Rockness Monster, but when emerged as Sean Price, you could tell he was trying to mature from Ruck. In an interview, he said, "Ruck was a wild dude," he reminisced. "Find him, fuck him, flee. Ain't get two shits about nothing. My kids, my responsibility, anything." And Sean Price got a plan, growth and development. take care of mine, trying to get up and get out of here. I got my head together, you know what I mean? I got tired of getting arrested, man. You know it's really hard when you rent a car, then you've got 2 girls in the car ahead of you with drugs on them, and then you in the other car making sure they get where they're going. Too much shit, man. I'm tired of that shit. That shit was cool when I was a teenager. I got kids now. When I did it before, it wasn't no worries, but now my kids and shit, my wife, she be calling me every fucking minute. What's going on? What? I'm gonna tell her I'm selling crack on the phone? The development from Ruck to Sean Price showed maturity, not only as an artist, but as a person, from boy to man type shit. Even though his debut album charted only at number 70 on the top hip-hop albums, it was met with respect and support from the hip-hop community. Sean Price always had a devoted fan base, and in this album, we hear a rapper re-emerging onto the scene while simultaneously expressing that his career is on the brink of obscurity due to not following rap protocol guidelines. As Ruck once said, "Love the rap, I hate the game."
I can rap.
That
The basic caveman foundation of this whole shit is, can you rhyme?
mm-hmm.
And that I can do. I don't know about the other shit, but that I can do.
You can rhyme.
Yeah, hell yeah.
You feel like it's more.
I don't feel, sir.
You
I told you that earlier.
said that.
After Monkey Barz, Sean P didn't stop there. In 2007, he dropped his second solo album, Jesus Price Superstar, which garnered just as much respect as his debut album. The first time I heard this term was in regards to Sean Price, but it's called grown man rap. That shit makes perfect sense when you think about it. Not in a condescending or superior way, but Sean P is definitely grown man rap. No flash, cash, or hoes. Just witty wordplay from a veteran who didn't give a fuck. Didn't write choruses either. As a solo artist, he stayed true to himself and his style. He also was very vocal about how much he didn't like the rap game or all the extra shit involved. In an interview with XXL, he was asked what his future looked like in the rap game since he was so tired of the politics that were involved. He responded, "Next year, you might find me working in Costco or some shit. I'm dead ass serious, cause I don't got money like that to retire and fall back on a yacht. People might say, yo man, you supposed to be here and there and blah blah blah. Yeah, I'm supposed to be there, but guess what? Guess where I'm at? I'm at Costco. Now don't get it twisted, I'm not starving, I'm good, but I don't give a fuck about pride. My kids can't eat pride, so as long as I take care of my family, I don't give a fuck." Real shit. In 2008, 10 years after the second album, heltahskeltah reunited with Ruck and Rock, releasing The Incredible Rap Team. Unfortunately, the album didn't do as well as the first 2 records, but it was a present for hip-hop heads to see the duo back in action. Sean Price was becoming proficient in dropping music the older he got. He also released a handful of mixtapes and featured on many songs with artists such as Mac Miller and Wu-Tang, Jedi Mind Tricks, and Cool G Rap, just to name a few. In 2012, he dropped his third album, Mike Tyson. Because just like the former heavyweight champion, Sean P was also a Brownsville native who could fight. There were 18 tracks consisting of that classic Sean Price that everybody rocked with since '95. Mark Bozzer of Canadian music publisher Exclaim stated, "Young rappers, take notice. You want to sound like this when you get older." The heltahskeltah freestyles were also very entertaining to watch. It's fun to watch 2 wordsmiths who are also a team, like, go off each other and freestyle off each other. But my favorite part of those freestyles on YouTube were like when Sean Price would say something funny and then Rock would start laughing. That shit is hilarious.
Hey, ring the alarm. This nigga tried to mock fool me. Invasion Radio.
The concept of Sean Price's longevity and transformation is super interesting in the fact that he never fell off, but rather got better and more popular with time. Usually, someone comes out swinging on a debut album and then gradually kind of falls off over time. Maybe they tried experimenting different sounds and their career never took off how they thought it would. But as I stated earlier, Ruck transformed into this cool-ass uncle at the family gathering type of rapper, evolving into an OG MC who never switched up his style and stayed true to his roots. No cash advance, no tequila brand, no major record label or reality TV show, just a dude who knew how to rap and demonstrated his abilities for 2 decades. I mean, I kind of said that earlier, but like just how Sean Price is just like a normal dude, just like a normal cat, funny. As far as I could tell from research and shit, he just like didn't really care about the whole politics of the rap game. He's just like, I rap, I live a normal life, I live in Brooklyn, blah blah blah. To me, that's a refreshing kind of personality in a game like this. His rapping agility was equivalent to Usain Bolt's running agility in a way that he could pump out projects for days without worrying too much about choruses or catchy songs. He was more focused on the art of just rapping, an action that is losing its relevance as the years go on. His mixtape, Songs in the Key of Price, my personal favorite, set to be released August 21st, 2015. Unfortunately, he would not be able to see its release into the world. On August 8th, 2015, Sean Price was found lifeless in his bed in his Brooklyn apartment. He was only 43 years old. It is reported that he died in his sleep, but a cause of death was never publicly released. However, he apparently suffered from sleep apnea, which could be the main factor in the loss of one of the best MCs to grace a microphone. That shit hurt, man. Fresh out of high school, bumping heltahskeltah all the time. And then Sean Price died. Damn, that's sad. Sean P seemed like a cool-ass, down-to-earth cat, a real person, no fake bullshit, no look at me, I'm the shit, but just a dude who loved to rap. If you liked it, you liked it. You didn't, oh well. It was a gigantic loss to the hip-hop community. Talib Kweli reminisced, Sean Price went from being a childhood hero of mine to a great friend. He was the most competitive MC I've ever met and kept me on my game. Jay-Z and Eminem both donated funds to Sean Price's family. He left behind a wife and 3 kids. The 2 things that always stood out to me were he named his daughter Sean, so that's just another Sean Price. Genius.
Thank you. This is my daughter, Sean Price. Hello. Hey, yo, P, I said, yep. Hold on. I said, George Papadopoulos, monotonous, botanist, apocalypse, proper chocolate doctor, the document. Say it. And you're listening to... Hold on.
George Papadopoulos, innocuous Papa nigga Apocalypse.
What?
Papa shit. Chocolate doctor, the document.
Yeah. Yeah, I ain't even teaching that. It's natural.
And 2, I believe his wife Bernadette Price was like pretty heavily involved in his career and like held it down, because there's videos of her like performing some of his verses on stage, which is like, get you a girl that remembers your fucking rap lyrics. Shit. But there's interviews of her that are very interesting, talking about just holding it down with him basically and being Sean Price's wife. But like, it seemed like a cool little get down they got going on over there. Sean Price was the man, blessing the microphone and giving hip-hop heads a tip-top catalog of music. His down-to-earth attitude, his realness behind his character was a breath of fresh air in such a competitive game. A one-of-a-kind of an individual, a rapper, a family man, a freelance comedian. The loss of Ruck left a permanent hole in the rap world, but his voice lives on forever. Sean Price, rest in peace. Yeah, that was a sad one, man. That was sad. Sean Price, rest in peace. He's one of the best to do it, in my opinion. Great dude, great rapper. Seemed like a great dude. It's just depressing making these videos, realizing that all these people I'm covering are dead. But that's a sad one. Sean Price was seemed like a really down to earth guy. I know I've said that multiple times, but it's just because you see in all these different genres of music, everyone's cocky or hella cool, blah blah blah, but Sean Price is just like, what's up, I'm Sean Price, I make fucking raps, I've been doing it for years. I thought he was hilarious, and it's always cool to talk to other people about rappers like that. Always sticks out to me, underground kind of dudes like that. So rest in peace, Sean Price. And if anyone else has suggestions out there for other videos or people you want me to cover, let me know. But yeah, if you made it this far, I appreciate it, and I will see you next time. Rest in peace, Sean Price.